What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Frank, the Cuban Flash Sanchez. Get this. Frank Sanchez promises more aggressive style with Goosen. He says, I'm going for the KOs. Much like many of the Cuban stars that have preceded him, Frank Sanchez's amateur pedigree has not translated to crowd-pleasing professional style at times. The knock on Sanchez has been that he ends up winning fights by lopsided landscape decisions in unspectacular fashion. To remedy the notion, the undefeated heavyweight contender is promising a reinvention of sorts under a new trainer, Joe Goosen. Sanchez 20-0 with 13 KOs, separated from Eddie Reynoso soon after Ryan split from Canelo's camp as well earlier this year. And now the tandem is training with Goosen. Quote, I've been learning a lot in the gym with short distance work. I'm very happy to work we've been doing. I'm very happy with the work we've been doing together. We're going to be world champions. I know how to box, but I know I need to work on fighting on the inside, Sanchez said. The 29-year-old has dropped his last two opponents in Christian Hammer and Efe Ajagba and stopped the previous three foes before that. Armed with 62% knockout career, Sanchez barely loses a round on the scorecard. Sanchez said that he's willing to take more risk to win the hearts of fans and critics alike, not just the judges. He said, they're going to see the new Cuban Flash that's going to be more aggressive this time. I'm going for knockouts. I'm going to showcase my talents like I've always have, only with more aggressive style. Let me counterpunch. I say this, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you haven't lost a round, if you've knocked down two of your last opponents and stopped the three before that, why would you need a more of aggressive style? The only thing I can see of Frank Sanchez is taking more punishment. You know, I see this as probably a recipe for disaster. Why? Because you got a guy that's great coming in and out, good boxer, good speed, good size, decent power. He's able to drop Efe Ajagba and Christian Hammer, of all people. Of course, Christian Hammer's a tough, durable mother sucker, right? So we know that he can take a punch. So for Frank knocking him down, that's impressive, especially a guy like Hammer, okay? And I don't know who he's been talking to. I don't know who has tried to convince him that, hey, he needs to be more aggressive. If it's Goosen that convinced him that he needs to be more aggressive or some other source, I think he should tell them to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? He should pull a Floyd, Money Mayweather with this. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I'm going to go in this sport and I'm going to take less punishment and make more money. Because I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. There's nothing cool. There's nothing cool about taking punishment. That's what he should say. Now I know, and I think either someone has told him that, or Cuban fighters has had the reputation of being a lackluster, like Erislandy Lara to come into play. Guillermo Rigondeaux, right? Guillermo is a guy that, he's a good fighter. El Jacal, that guy, he's a very good boxer, but at times, you wonder, like, okay, what are you doing? And I think they're plagued by the amateur style, but understand, it's boxing, okay? You can implement fighting into it, but it costs you. And I think him being young like he is, I think he wants to erase the stereotypes of Cuban fighters, which, it is what it is. I think he's very aggressive. I don't think he's like a normal, typical Cuban fighter, especially with training with Reynoso. But I'll leave you guys with this. Anytime you take a guy that can box well and then you try to make him more aggressive, it's always at the boxer's disadvantage. Okay. The boxer suffers. And what comes into play is Terry Norris. I think of Terry Norris, and he had one hell of an uppercut. Man, that uppercut could chop you up. And he started being trained by Abel Sanchez back in those days. And Abel Sanchez taught him to be more an aggressive fighter, but at what result? He got knocked out. That's what. Fighting on the inside, normally you're not an inside fighter. It's good to know how to do certain things, but to change your whole game plan and your whole style to please some fans, what the hell do you want? You got a knockdown or one or two. You knock down the last two. You stop the last three, so you can't say you 62 knockout percentage. You know what I'm saying? You got 20 fights with 13 knockouts. So, like, what more do you want? And I think the only thing that could happen in this situation is he ends up taking more punishment and possibly get knocked out. You think a person like Frank Sanchez would have, with this type of mindset, you think he would want to be in there with someone like Efe Ajagba? No, because then he could get caught with something that he doesn't need to get caught with, that he's smarter than. Based on the way he fights, he's able to avoid those punches. That's boxing. To hit without being hit, not to be better on the inside. Okay, so sometimes when you learn new things, you kind of discard the things that you've already known. And that's the scary part. So if he can do that and it could all come together, that's one thing. But chances are, trying to get too aggressive, trying to stay in the pocket, trying to sit there too long and put yourself in a position to get hit or hurt or knocked out, I think that's more than likely what's bound to happen. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Frank Sanchez wanting to change his style, be more aggressive with trainer Goose. And of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.